Prepare to attack the enemy's control points.
Get behind me, Doctor!
I am fully charged!
You are listening to Control Point, a Team Fortress 2 podcast with Brent Copeland, Eric Fullerton, Wes Wilson, and Spencer Williams.
Control Point, episode 45, recorded on August 24th, 2008. I'm Brent Copeland.
I'm Wes Wilson.
I'm Eric Fullerton.
Where's Spencer?
Oh, wait. Let's do that again. I'm Spencer Williams.
I'm Eric Fullerton.
And I'm Wes Wilson, but we always start with Brent.
Yeah.
I think he decided that he wanted to do just a Age of Conan podcast all by himself. So
well, who can blame him?
Mm-hmm. I know, seriously. No, but his son apparently had his foot mauled by a bear or something like that, and so he had to take his son to the hospital. Where I assume after that they're going to hunt down the bear and kill it, since it's clearly a man-eater.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so this is his first time being absent from the show.
Isn't it awesome?
He almost had 100% attendance,
Yep.
but things happen. So
But you get 10 absences before you get held back.
that's true. Yeah, we'll knock him back to like episode 12. He'll be,
The remedial control point class.
however that.
I'm going to disguise as a spy. Anyway,
So do we have a briefcase, or did Brent take it with him to the hospital?
he did. So instead, but I do have this lunchbox.
Oh, good. Let's see what's in the lunchbox.
Okay, here we go. Ooh, there's a thermos. There's something in here. What's in there? Open that.
Let's see. Let me go.
Oh my God, it's human blood!
Oh, it's a tiny little briefcase.
Oh, wow.
There's
the
a
thermos?
briefcase
Yeah.
in the
And
thermos?
something that stinks. Some sort of like rotten milk or something.
Ew.
Oh.
Well, you know
have
what?
some of that last
we
time?
always have like stinky stuff in the briefcase. Why is that? It's
I don't
weird.
know. Maybe, do you think we're subconsciously saying our podcast stinks?
Wait. Are you saying that there's stinky stuff in the briefcase, or there was stinky stuff in the thermos that the briefcase was? I'm confused.
Well, yeah. Inside, let's see what's in the briefcase. Now there's violets in here, covered in roses, and
That's not the briefcase.
smells like potpourri. Some vanilla. Wow, this smells great.
sure?
Yeah.
Wow, something's weird about that.
Let's see. What
Okay, well, I'm sick of this bit. So we've got comments on the heavy update. We've got the Meet the Sandvich. Call in Mania and question Orama. I assume that means something to someone else, because I have no idea what that means. Is that all we got?
That's pretty much it. That's a good chunk, though.
Awesome.
We've got some serious listener contributions this week.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, let's talk about our status.
Tell me about your week, Brent.
Brent?
Uber.
Nice.
Wow, that's a great week, Brent.
All right, so you wanted me to go first since I'm the most awesome. I know. Let's see. My week. Actually, it's a shame Brent's not here, because I had something that I wanted to talk about with Brent. I played with Brent this week more than I think I might have played with. Did I play with you at all, Wes? I don't remember.
Yes, we played a little bit.
Okay. But of course, on Tuesday, the update was released, and I immediately jumped on, and I jumped onto a farming server, and I got so frustrated so quickly that I stopped doing it. So
Which
I have not
farming- was
farmed
it
any
ours?
achievements. I'm not even sure if it was ours or not. There were a lot of CPers there, but I'm not sure it was ours.
Oh.
It was one that Jazz advertised. So who knows? I don't know.
Probably was ours then. That's weird.
How could you not know if it was ours?
It didn't say control point on it, so
I know there was a bug where when it went to arena maps, it was changing the name of the server on the file list.
yeah, that wasn't it. It was something else.
Okay.
But anyway, I did not enjoy that, so I quit. So the end result is that I have not farmed any achievements. At this point, I've got, I think, 14, so I'm just shy of number 2 of what are they called? Landmark or
Milestones.
Milestone 2. So I've got the Sandvich, but that's it.
Oh, sweet.
But let's see. We were playing on the new payload map. What's it called? Someone has to know because I don't know.
Backwater
Badwater?
Backwater Basin.
Backwater Basin.
Badwater Basin.
Yes, that's it.
That it, yeah. And
we're professionals.
And I was having a lot of fun. I had just unlocked the Sandvich, and of course, for those of you who have not seen the Sandvich or haven't been online or been living under a rock or have the PS3 version of the game, the Sandvich is a replacement for the Heavy's shotgun that lets you eat it, and he goes nom 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 nom, and you recover 120 health or something like that.
Isn't it delightful?
Yeah, it is. So it's kind of hard to use because there's like a 4-second animation that goes along with it, sort of like a taunt, and you have to use it in the right situation or you're going to die. Well, anyway, we were working on the very last point of Badwater Basin. I was on offense, and Brent was on defense. And I'm playing a heavy like I always do, and I charge up at them, and then all of a sudden, Brent, who is playing a heavy, gets Ubered, and I duck behind a corner where I have absolutely nowhere to go, no backup, nothing. So I just whip out a sandwich and eat it while he kills me. So that's what the sandwich is good for. It's good to use while you're dying.
Excellent.
Well,
and it makes such a great sound too. I love it when there's multiple heavies eating. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like the new victory dance for heavies. They pull out their sandwiches. I'm sorry, sandwiches. Let's see. I like I said, I haven't unlocked all the achievements yet, so I haven't gotten to try Natasha or the KGB just yet. Looking forward to that, and I may jump onto a farming server yet. I've been invited to go to a couple. None of them have happened when I was able to play, unfortunately. That's pretty much all I did. I didn't play a lot. I did get a job, so that's cool.
Jobs are cool.
I'm going to be working at Horry Georgetown Technical College, and I'm not entirely certain what I'm going to be doing yet, so I'll let you know on that.
Mysterious.
I'll go next.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I hopped on the farming server and had a really great time. And Signod was running it. And I by the way, if you do get on this one particular setup and you activate your minigun in this block of water next to these dispensers, and there's a couple of teleporters built behind you, and they teleport you from one to the other. And if scouts and spies and everything run in, you can literally get about 10 achievements in about 30 seconds.
Wow.
It was truly astounding. I was sitting there, and the things are just flying up on the right side of my screen, and I was like, it was sick. It made me feel like queasy because it felt so terribly wrong. And then
is this the first time you've done this?
This is the first time I have farmed a single achievement, and I got 10 in 30 seconds.
Crazy.
Did you then stop or what?
Well, no, that's just in that one particular situation. Then we took turns doing the other ones. We would all go up against the wall, and then, a soldier would shoot everybody with a rocket, and a pyro would come by with a flamethrower. And anyway, it was kind of cool. And I was having a great time, but then Signod logged off, and we started going into chaos. And my problem was I hadn't really totally been paying enough attention in order to be able to drive the event. And plus, I'm a mild anarchist at heart. And so I wanted to kind of let it be free flow. Like somebody would say, hey, I'd like to do this achievement. And I'd say, okay, yes, let's do that. And I'd try to get people to join in. And that didn't work very well. And mostly it's because I believe there are two kinds of people. And there are the people who understand that if you're efficient, you can do this quickly and everyone can do it quickly. Or as soon as you get yours, you're ready to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to make anybody famous for being a jerk. But after a little while, I started to get mad. And the way it went was, it's like, hey, I need defending the control point farming thing. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. Well, there were 4 heavies and like 3 people becoming scouts coming towards them, you know? And I'm like, okay, I'll go scout, but I don't have this achievement yet. And I want to do this. So I joined in. We got the person that achievement. I go, okay, my turn. And then he's like, I'm over here in the water. Come run in the water. And I'm like, I thought we were still doing the control point one, you know? And he's like, oh. And so I stay scout and I go over and start trying to help him get that one. And then I'm like, okay, but we need to go and get my control point one after this. And then as soon as he's done, he jumps out. He's like, I need somebody to go soldier and somebody to go pyro. And at this point in time, I started getting mad, you know? And I'm like, look, you know, this will work better if people, you know, let's let everybody get their achievements. Because you remember how I said I got 9 achievements in about 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I jumped into that cube of water as a scout for 10 minutes to get one person the achievements.
Ouch.
And I was like, this is ridiculous. And so like I said, I'm not going to name any names, but if you're on a farming server and someone helps you get your achievement, your rational duty is to stick around and then help them get that achievement they just helped you get. If you're not
but people
doing
don't get that. I mean, I know this is the first time you've done this, but this has been a problem with farming since farming was first conceived of, and in the midst of time, some 3,000 years ago, when the first farmers joined a farming server, immediately they were led astray by their own selfish desires to farm their own achievements to the exclusion of others farming theirs. It was a sad, sad day.
You sound like William Shatner.
Indeed.
Yeah, he did.
Well, I'm just going to call people out right now, though. If you get your achievement and then you proceed to move on and get people to help you get your next achievement before you help the other people get the one you were just working on, you're a jerk. You are the problem with the world. Learn. So there. I did it. I called him out.
Good job.
I'm a rocket man.
Good job.
The other thing we did was a bunch of us were on Stan's Lounge this week. Me and Brent and Eric were all playing on Stan's Lounge, and we had a great time.
Yeah, that was cool.
And like I said, sometimes being on there is very intoxicating. There's not much chit chat. You know, people are really focused. The only thing that's frustrating about that is there's a lot of really, really, really good spies over there. So,
oh yeah, man, yeah, I noticed that too.
You guys were dual engineers. We had 4 engineers on Badwater Basin. Trying to keep the roof all armed with stuff, and 2 spies came up there and killed everything.
Yeah.
It was so grotesque.
Yeah. And that's even with like 2 or 3 pyros up there spy checking. I don't know what they did to thwart the flames.
They're magical scouts. Yeah. I mean, spies.
Yeah.
So, okay, how about your week, Eric?
Let's see. My week started with... playing on Wednesday, I think. When was the heavy update updated? That was Tuesday, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so I didn't get to play the very first day. I had a lot of work to do, so I didn't play anything. And then Wednesday I got on, finally played some heavy. I didn't jump right into a farming server because I just wasn't in the mood, I guess, to farm or whatever. I just wanted to get out there and see if people were already fighting with the new stuff, the KGB and stuff like that. So let's see, what did I forget now what server I jumped on to, probably 1 or 4, I don't remember. Anyway, so I ended up playing a lot of pyro. I didn't really play a lot of heavy that first day because, well, there was too many people really playing heavy and it just kind of felt weird. So I went pyro, and apparently the same day, I toasted a whole bunch of heavies, got the making bacon,
bacon. And
then I unlocked my second milestone for pyro and got the back burner. So I was really happy.
Wow, you go.
Yeah, so I was just going wild with the back burner. It's so much fun. I really like it. I can't yet say I like it better than his regular flamethrower. It's just situational still, but it's fun. I've already kind of started circle strafing around someone while burning them and everything like that. So it's not like my gameplay is a whole lot different. Although I noticed a lot of other people's gameplay is different. With when running away or whatever from a backburner, I was chasing a medic and just burning him in the face, and he was running backwards. The entire time he was running backwards, I'm thinking, he's going slow because you're running backwards. You're not full speed, but you're not getting critted because obviously he can see the little face on the end of my gun and he knows what I'm shooting him with, and of course he died. And that happened a couple times with other players. They will see that you have a backburner and will not show you their back, even if it means running slow, which is a toss-up. Either you're going to get critted or you're going to run too slow and die, either way. So.
I do wish it was a little bit easier to tell what weapon you had. I don't think the backburner is clearly enough differentiated so that I need to run backwards.
Right.
So,
and this sort of gets me to my issue with the backburner is that it feels like a backstab without you having to sneak around before you get it. Because once you get him from behind, it's pretty much it. And I don't know, I'm not fond of that.
Yeah. So that's neat. Now that that's unlocked and everything, I can play around with that and report back what I find. So let's see. Also on what other day? Probably the next day. Oh, I know. Friday. Friday was a really fun night. I played CP After Dark, the classic, the infamous. And it was a load of fun. Sabrina played for the very first time, and she was in the same room.
I saw her mention on Twitter that she was trying to get some maps copied over so she can go back to sucking at TF2.
Yeah, she bought the game a while ago and keeps failing and installing it and having it actually run well with whatever video card is in the different computers that she's tried it on at home. So she came over here at my house and was in the same room. We installed it on another machine, worked great. So finally, her first time ever playing, I told her to play Pyro because it's probably pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of options. Unlike the NG or this or the Spy or something like that. I mean, so it's a pretty simple class. So she had a whole lot of fun with that. Also, the first time we got in, the freaking map was on Duel 3. So she's like, so what do I do? I keep dying. She's like, man, I can't. And she's like, she got the little not achievements, but what are they called? And it says you've lived for 17 seconds.
Oh, yeah, accomplishments.
Oh,
yeah.
So her stats ended up being the longest she's ever been alive with any class was 17 seconds. And she's like, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. And so like, what are we trying to do here? And I'm like, you know what? We're not actually trying to do anything. This is just a big waste of time. So how about we change it over to a real map, people? And they're like, yeah, CP Falling. And I'm like, dudes, let's do a real map. So I forgot what we ended up. I think. Oh yeah, it was CPOL. No, it was CTF, or what was it? It was Well. It was one of the wells. I forget. But anyway, so that was cool. Then I said, so why don't you try out some other, classes? She's like, well, I don't know. What would you recommend? So I said, okay, how about Heavy? Heavy is pretty similar to a Pyro, only with a few extra features, one being you're slower, another one being that you have to wind up, you can't instantly shoot, and so that felt kind of like a natural progression, I think, for her. And then I think she tried the demo next. Anyway, so just kind of slowly progressed through the classes, getting a feel for them. She's real new to first-person shooters as well, so the whole WASD and just being oriented in a 3D world, I think was kind of new too. I mean, although she's played 3D games before, but just first-person shooters, a little disoriented at first, I guess. But that was a lot of fun. There was someone playing Eric's Mom was the name of someone, and thought that was funny.
Are you sure it wasn't your mom?
was like, "You're grounded, Eric." And then like Johnny Napalm was like, "Well, I feel weird for dominating Eric's mom." So later on that night, we played and played. I mean, we played so many maps. We were drinking too, so I don't really remember what all maps we played. But later on that night, we went over to the Dice Roll server, the Dice Roll mod.
I still have not tried that. I
haven't either.
Do that.
For those listening, there a few episodes back, it's in the show notes. You can find a whole section where I'm talking about this mod. Anyway, this Italian server. So we everybody on server. Oh, we were on server 1, and then we moved to server 3, played with a whole new crowd of people, and then from there we went to Italy to play Dice Roll. So when we got there, it was on some heavy achievement farming map, and nobody was organized. It was like people were just shooting. It was like a duel 3. I'm like, what is the point of this? Like, nobody could step up and be the leader. Plus, you had a mixture of Italian and English being spoken. It was just a gigantic mess. So I don't know. We might have stayed around for about 5 minutes, just shooting, just duel 3 style, and then we all moved back to 3, I believe, or 1, I don't remember. And then played out the rest of the night until Satos came on, and he's always kind of my alarm system, saying that, "Oh my God, you should go to sleep," because he's in Australia, and it was about 4 in the morning, and he's like, "Wow, you guys are still awake," and I'm like, "Of course, it's CP After Dark." But he's a lot of fun to play with, though. So anyway, that was the Friday night. It was a lot of fun.
Well, you've heard it here first. Eric hates Italians. Eric hates Italian people.
Yeah, that's the moral of this story. So let's see. And I didn't play any Saturday. I was really kind of really wanting to play Saturday, and I forget what I'm working on a new website for the Dead Workers Party Network, our podcast network. The web page.
Actually, that was kind of funny because I don't think we mentioned this early last week. One morning, Eric and Brent and I all started working on the website all at the same time without telling each other that we were going to do so. And so we started asking each other questions over email, and everyone's like, "Wait, you're doing that? What? Who's doing what? I don't know what's going on." And it was really confusing. And then I sat back and started doing nothing and letting them do it all. So
yeah, this is just a big website that links to every podcast on the network. There's a lot of them. It's growing. It's confusing a lot of people because we don't have this site up yet. And just the other day, somebody posted on the forums, "Hey, do you guys have a WoW podcast too? Because that would be cool if you did." And I'm like, "Yeah, we do. We've been doing it for 2 years. We started in 2006. They're like, "Oh, cool. Okay, I'll check it out." So that's another reason we need this network page up.
Yeah.
So, everyone can just go and check it out. We got a ton of game podcasts, lots of movie-related ones, tech-related ones. So anyway.
And this will also make it easier on us, so we'll only really have one site to update instead of like
50 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really that. Oh well, let's see. You already talked about Stan's Lounge, but I had just logged in Friday night, and I was in the server queue for 1, and 4 was also packed. So I was just kind of like, oh man, I really want to play on our servers. I don't want to just go to some random guy's server where it's going to suck, and that'll be Sabrina's first impression of TF2 will be some kid yelling obscenities or something. So out of the blue, Boogle, which is in the Gamers with Jobs community.
Boggle.
No, Boogle.
I thought it was Boogle.
Is it Boogle?
It's Boogle. B-O-O-G-L-E.
Boogle.
He's I have a couple Gamers with Jobs people on my friends list. They're all really cool. So I thought, well, he popped in just like, "Hey, I cordially invite you to Stan's Lounge." I was like, "Oh, sweet. Okay, sure enough, I'll be there." They had it passworded, so I got the password, jumped in. And is that when Sabrina jumped in? I forget now. I think maybe she was still installing. But anyway, so then Wes jumped in, and then, wow, everybody jumped in except you, Spencer. And Brent jumped in.
I don't like you guys.
But it was kind of cool because it was nothing but gamers with jobs, and then all of a sudden all 4 hosts come on. They're like, what? Invasion? So, and we totally tore up the place, too, let me tell you. Whew. Man, those gamers with jobs guys are way too easy. Just kidding. We actually all 4 had the lowest score on that. But no, those guys are good. So anyway, that was my week. End of status.
Sweet. Well, let's move on here to who wants to
on
say
the loudspeaker.
News and discussions. Well, we got a big one here, and I think everyone knows what it is. The heavy unlock and the Sandvich and Natasha and the KGB all released, along with a new game mode with 5 maps, a new community map, a new Valve map. Holy crap. Oh my god, there's a lot of crap there.
Uh-huh.
And it's reflected across pretty much everything that we do. Our forum traffic went up. Ubercharged has gone crazy on their posts.
They have so much content. You were just noticing that right before the show.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable the attention that TF2 is getting right now. And then they had a free weekend, the weekend that we're recording this.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this was a good move on their part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we got a bunch of those noobs on our servers Friday night, too, because there was a lot of weird names coming on that were doing wacky stuff. I think it was because of the free trial.
Oh, could be.
But, I mean, that's okay. They weren't, like, bannable or anything. I mean, we didn't, like, go crazy. But we can notice a lot of new faces, kind of new to the whole genre almost. Kind of like Sabrina was. But she's getting better.
There was even on Penny Arcade, there was a news post about TF2, and it was an interesting way of looking at things. It was Tycho. He suggested that with TF2, we are seeing a development team in its natural state of a game that is never done and is continually being changed, not under the same release constraints that every other game out there has. So I thought that was an interesting way of looking at things.
It is.
Yeah.
I've just been fast. I mean, maybe it's that I'm a little jaded, but I don't understand why they haven't put out, more new maps before now. It seems like, it seems like that part of the updating stuff on this would strongly be putting out new Valve maps. And I've been a little surprised that they haven't done more before now. And so this was a nice update because not only did you get new stuff to work for, but as soon as you got done doing whatever you were doing farming wise, you could jump on new maps as well. And that was really refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair, TF2 was in development for 10 years and released with how many maps? So
8?
They're pretty slow making maps, and they have that iterative thing where they make a map and then they play it and play it and play it and then change it a little bit and then play it and play it and play it and then change it a little bit and then play it and play it, play it, then change it and then play it and then release it, and then there's a bug that lets a sniper build a sentry under the map.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Now, I wonder if this was part of their strategy, their long-term strategy. Like, they actually knew that they would slowly be coming out with updates, as if they were running an MMO early on. And so they come out the gate with 8 maps or so. I don't remember how many, but I'll say 8. And then, was this all a big schedule, master plan? Or do you think
they're just making it up as they go along. I think they just,
Was there ever any discussion before the game came out about alternate weapons?
No.
That's another good question.
No, I don't think there was. I was honest. I remember being very surprised when I found out that they were going to have alternate weapons, and there was a big discussion, even on this podcast, if you'll remember, about whether or not it was going to ruin the game.
Yeah,
right. And had they actually had mentioned the fact that they were going to unlock weapons in the future, that would have been a huge selling part as for their campaign to get you to play the game. Imagine coming out the gate saying, "Oh, and let me tell you about the longevity of this game. Not only is it cool now, but
well, maybe that was their wisdom to not make promises that they weren't going to keep unless the sales were there."
Yeah. So. That could be some of that, but
well, we also got a video. We did. We've got Meet the Sandvich.
Yeah, this is great. So this is by Blizzard. This is by Valve. Oops. So, we've had the Meet the of all kinds of different silly things around.
From the community. We've had Meet the Century. We've had Meet the Dispenser. We've had Meet the Cow. We've had all this crap. And I don't mean crap. I mean all of this quality content.
But this one is actually pretty cool. Because this is kind of following that whole line of silly videos. Meet the but is actually Valve. And now I saw a link to this the day of. It was in the morning or something, and I wasn't aware that this was coming out. In fact, I think it was a Twitter that I saw. It said Meet the Sandvich and had a tinyurl.com link there, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go ahead and watch it. I'm thinking it's totally not Valve. It's just another person in the community, maybe made something funny. Okay, that's funny. And then, well, lo and behold, Blizzard. Why do I want to keep?
You almost said Blizzard again, man.
Valve made a new video. This one is cool because it's actually. It seems like it was kind of quicker to get out because most of the comedy gold was in the voice acting,
audio,
and there weren't too many models that they had to do. In fact, the beer bottles that you see in the fridge were actually reused. Those were in previous Meet the videos.
Meet the Engineer, yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't really do a lot of new creation here, but very creatively did they pump out something that was really funny. They didn't have to use up someone's class to do it. You know what I mean? This is in between. This is Meet the Sandwich is not a class, obviously. So if Valve, please feel free to make videos galore of like any, you know what I mean? Like once you're done with the classes, they're not done forever,
Yeah, I have a theory about this though. My theory is that they had a Meet the Class planned, and they were working on it, and it ended up taking longer than they expected it to, and they sort of did the Meet the Sandwich instead.
He punched out all my blood. That was the best line.
Definitely worth seeing. Definitely.
What was it?
Seeing.
You blue team grandmas wouldn't know how to break a spine if you. Ow, my spine!
Oh yeah, that was the soldier or something.
No, that was the sniper said that.
Oh, that was
it was the soldier. It was totally the soldier.
Oh, yeah. It was funny.
Well, okay, moving on. We also got a new map type, Arena, and this is a kind of an interesting little take on this. I'm not sure I would have gone this hardcore with it, but basically what it allows is you don't pick teams. You just say, I want to play, and it puts everyone onto teams, and the most brutal part is, like, you get about 5 seconds to look at the team makeup before you decide whether you want to switch your class or not. And there's not a whole lot of decision making there. And then if you die, you're out. And the last person standing wins. Or if the game's been going on long enough, a control point will open up and the team that captures the control point wins, which I think was an excellent way to stop an evil camping situation.
Now this This is really similar to Sudden Death. There's really not much difference between this and Sudden Death as far as the actual gameplay once it's begun. Because once you're dead, and you're a spectator, and you're waiting for the last man standing to, win. So, but the reason I kept wanting to say Blizzard, I think, is because not only is Valve, updating this thing like an MMO, but Arena is out, and Arena feels like the Arena in WoW. It's just a death match to the finish. Who last man wins. Which I like it.
I've never played WoW Arena. To me, it feels like TF2 with Counter-Strike rules, except not as good. I don't like Arena. I don't like it at all. I don't think it's a bad game, but I don't think it's the game that I want to play when I boot up TF2. So, I really have no time for it personally.
I agree with you a little bit. I do find it very frustrating. There are certain things that the differences between the classes become patently apparent, and some classes almost don't seem worth playing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, true.
And so it's a completely different game. The other thing is it's very frustrating because you can't tell what your team makeup is, so you can't really pick your class ahead of time. And so a lot of times you'll pop in and all of a sudden you'll look at the team makeup and there's 5 medics. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I do like the way it works is if you win, your team all plays again. And you don't
up to a predefined limit of wins, at which point it's all randomized again. Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. And then I mean it provides for some really quick play. Now a lot of people don't like the spectator mode. If you aren't picked for a team because of the way that everything's laid out, and you get stuck in spectator mode and you get to watch, and some people are like, I don't want to just watch. I think it's actually kind of interesting to watch. I found myself hardly entertained, but I do understand why people get grumpy about it.
Yeah.
When I heard that they had a new game mode playing, the first thing I thought of was Payload and how awesome Payload was and what a great addition to the game was. I just do not feel that way about Arena. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a sort of a gimme, throw it out there, and I don't know what the rationale was behind including it, but I think the game, I'm not going to say the game was better off without it, but I don't think the game is any better for it, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I like the having a new way to do things. However, this is not the way I would want to do it all the time. If I had to play all Payload maps all the time, I probably would still have fun. If I had to play all CTF maps all the time, I probably would still have fun. But I can't see that happening with just Arena maps.
That's because Arena sucks.
Now, here are the maps that they released at Arena. The Lumberyard, which uses the new Alpine look. Which
we'll talk about in a minute, yeah.
Ravine, so that's a new one as well. Now, 3 old maps converted to Arena were released. Granary, and Badlands.
Now, I did like the Badlands version of this quite a bit. Honestly, I enjoyed that one the most out of the ones that I played. I liked Lumberyard. Okay, didn't much care for Ravine, and I don't think I've played Well and Granary yet, so I can't say about those.
Here's a question: what other official Valve map would you like to be turned into an Arena? It wouldn't make you want to play Arena more, would it? Or any custom map for that matter, Mach 4, Turbine, whatever. I mean, is there any map that they could convert that would make you want to play it?
Any of the mirror image maps, of course, will work. Like Turbine would work, Mach 4 would work. I think Mach 4 could be fun with the dual level thing going there in the center. Mm-hmm. I think it might be interesting to see maybe an asymmetrical Arena map, like maybe just one of the forts from 2 Fort.
Ah, okay.
Something like that, But I mean, at the end of the day, it's the rule set, not the maps, that makes the game unpalatable for me. Right. The maps, for all I know, Lumberyard is a great Arena map. It's still an Arena map. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I have not played Ravine and I have not played Badlands. I did play Lumberyard, Well, and Granary. The Well and Granary maps felt like the beginning of Well and Granary. That's what it feels like, is that first battle. Basically just play that first little bit over and over and over again.
Run to the first point.
Is the train still there?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
And it's not CTF well, it is CP well, so it's the full building. I thought Lumberyard had some really interesting, like, multiple level things. As far as like what would make a good Arena map, I really would like to see, like, maybe those like the warehouse. Remember Warehouse, that deathmatch level.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. I can't imagine any of the other regular maps.
So you mean like Cyberpunk or something like that? Would actually be fun?
Deathmatch Cyberpunk would not be fun because regular
I think it would be fun.
Cyberpunk is not any fun.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, giving Cyberpunk some rules, I think, is the key.
Yeah. I think that you could put rules on beating yourself upside the head with a bat. It's not going to make it any more fun.
True.
Well, let's talk about the new setting with Lumberyard. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah.
And it's the Alpine setting is what they're calling it.
I think it's great. It's finally nice to get out of the desert and get some nice fresh air, get some trees in there.
Is it just me, or does it actually feel cooler? Like
yes.
you feel refreshed when it comes around to that.
Well, it does use a cool color palette too, so I think psychologically,
I need to no clip and fly around and look at the skybox and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. I haven't checked that out yet.
We need to do that sometime.
And there was a post. There was a post at Team Fortress 2 or TeamFortress.com, excuse me, about from one of the artists about creating the setting and how they wanted to reuse some stuff and still make it feel very unique. And I think they did a really good job. I think it's very, very pleasant, and I can't wait to see more maps using it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to see them play with a couple of ideas, like maybe get like some sundown type environments, or maybe, you know what I'm saying? If it's just changing the general tone of the environment, I feel like they could probably use a lot of the same textures, but change the lighting or the hue,
like the time of day. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Okay. They could probably do a lot with that.
Yeah,
and maybe if they made one map that was entirely underwater. I think
like Super Mario 2-1. Maybe an Alpine version of 2 Fort might reinvigorate some of us. Maybe not. I don't know.
I really think you're barking up the wrong tree there.
I think I am. maybe some Alpine and
maybe
Cyberpunk.
instead of Dust Bowl, we could have Snow Bowl.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That sounds delightful.
Delicious.
Death in the slopes.
Well, Snow Fort was kind of alpine-ish before real Alpine came out.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It had green trees. It had snow.
It was Alpine before Alpine was cool.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really talk about the heavy unlocks, and we did sort of go over them last week in as far as what we knew, and really not a whole lot has changed there, I don't think. We now know how much the Natasha slows, and we know how long that slow lasts, and the answer is pretty much only as long as you have fire on them. Is that correct?
I haven't really played around with Natasha all that much. Whenever I've played heavy past farming, I don't pull out Natasha. I just keep using my regular minigun, my KGB, and my Sandvich.
Like I said, I still haven't unlocked anything other than the Sandvich. I will say that Natasha has a nice sound to it. It sounds sort of like a helicopter's coming at you.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. It's actually a more deep rumble than the minigun. The minigun has kind of high whine. And Natasha's like do 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 do.
Huh.
Chugga 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 chugga. Sort of.
Yeah.
It's neat.
It's neat. There's been some debate about the Sandvich. I know Boomrocker in particular made a post in the forums all about how the Sandvich was useless. I think the Sandvich is brilliant, and I wish I thought to use it more often than I do. I really think it's a neat item. It changes. You really have to keep up with your ammo when you're playing with the Sandvich because you got nothing to fall back on. But on the whole, I mean, I can't complain with it. Since you stand there and leave yourself vulnerable, it doesn't feel like it's a big, gargantuan, huge advantage.
I think that Boomrocker's complaint was that it didn't feel like it fit in with the Heavy's previous role. And I think he's right in that none of the tools, with the possible exception of the KGB, that the heavy are given really fit into the previous role. What the heavy had evolved into was a heavy assault class. And his complaint was, when you are in that heavy assault mode, the last thing you want to do is let off pressure to, eat a sandwich. And usually if you need health, you also need ammo, which the sandwich does not help. And he's absolutely right in that. What I think he missed was that these new tools allow the heavy to take on different roles than that heavy assault role. As a solitary defender, he's a lot more useful with the sandwich. Not just solitary, as a defender in general, he's a lot more useful with the sandwich. Now, the way I play the heavy, I'm going to get that 100 sandwiches eaten, and then I'm going to switch back to the shotgun, because it's more useful for the way I play. But I can see it expanding the number of roles that the heavy can take on.
And I think that's exactly it. There's been a problem if you don't have a medic around, and you're hanging back and being your defensive class as a heavy, it causes problems. So I don't know. I'm really happy with it. Natasha, I really can't imagine a situation where that's the gun I would want to use.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. It just doesn't seem. The only way that I think I would choose it is if I was planning on standing next to a dispenser and defending a control point.
I'm not sure I agree with that. But I haven't played with it myself yet, so I don't feel like I'm in a real position to say one way or the other. It looks like it could be very, very helpful in a lot of situations if you are working as part of an offensive team or as a defensive team. If you're by yourself, I absolutely agree. There is no reason to have it. But if you're working as a team, there's a lot you can do with it.
Right.
Sorry, I just got a funny message. And anyway, so do we want to move on?
Yeah, sure. Let's move on. Let's see. We got some emails here. This one is from Johnny Napalm. While I was re-listening to episode 18 to write the episode guide, thanks for writing that, Johnny Napalm.
Yeah.
He noticed Spencer and Eric, that's myself and Eric, talking about a machinima they were working on. Did it ever get made, and if so, where is it posted? Eric, you want to take this, or should I?
Well, I guess we both have input about this. This is a piece of machinima that we did start a long time ago. I don't even remember what episode we actually began doing this. Probably before that. It was
really early, though.
There's even a reference. We've referenced this video a couple times, even though no one has probably realized the reference because of the video hasn't been published yet. So it
was prior to episode 10 because we referenced it in the Christmas episode.
That's true. Let's see. We even had. I don't even want to mention who wrote the piece and bits of voice talents. But it's a really cool collaboration between us and someone else that a lot of people will know of internet fame or whatever. So really, it was a huge learning experience. It taught Spencer how to do lip syncing and the face posing, and from that. You wrote a tutorial, an article, which is very useful. We just haven't touched the project, I guess, in quite a while. I don't know.
Okay, the long and short of it is this: Eric is like a technology ferret. He gets really into something, and as long as he sees it and it's shiny, but as soon as he gets distracted by something else that's shiny, that's it. He's never touching the old shiny thing again. So this was an old shiny thing that he got distracted, and it never happened. So
yeah, probably the same reason I never finished my my map, the quad.
Yeah, that was another old shiny thing because of Eric's ferretness.
I still want to revive the machinima. I'm clueless. this. I'm like the bumbling cheerleader of the CP community, and I basically just want to cheer them on and help them. And I'd love to know what to do, but I have no idea. Like, I was actually starting to working on the facial animations, not realizing that Spencer was going to do the whole thing. And so then I'm like, oh, look, I did this. And then Spencer's like, it's okay, I already did the whole thing. And so, I really was kind of excited about it. I still want it to happen. So
basically, we got it down to the point where all we had left to do was we had to film it and we had to cut it together, and that would have been it.
We had to ramp the animations together and that kind of, and I had no idea where to even begin with that or what we wanted to do.
I think we stopped where we needed to create a bot and have it run this script, which is basically him speaking and him doing his lines or whatever, but going into the game and filming him do that. Also, having it scriptable to where he's actually walking or moving or doing something, that's where we kind of quit. And if somebody out there knows how to do this, I know there are people that know how to do this because we've seen videos. Maybe that's what it'll take. Maybe it'll take an outside force to email us at cp@deadworkers.com and say, hey, need some help on that machinima? And we'll say, yeah, we do.
Yep.
And then we'll give you all the stuff and you do it all by yourself, and then we'll take the credit. Just kidding.
Awesome.
No, but collaboration would be swell if someone email us about it. So
the next, then we want to move on here. The next email is questions from Abrupt Demise. Number 1, if you had to sit next to one of the 9 classes on a 4-hour flight, first class, which one would you want to sit next to the most, and which would you want to sit next to the least?
That's a cool question.
I don't want to sit next to any of them. They're all a bunch of jackasses.
I would not want to sit next to the Scout or the Heavy.
I would not want to sit next to the Spy.
The sitting next to, no, the Spy would be so charming. We'd have a great conversation.
He'd be smoking the whole time. It'd be annoying.
No,
that's true. He would.
He wouldn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Heavy, because he'd take up all the armrests and ooze over onto your seat.
No, he said first class. First class means you get your own armrests.
It doesn't matter. That's a big dude.
Well, if the Heavy smells like bacon, I could go for that.
I would not want to sit next to the Sniper because he would never actually use the restroom. He'd just pee in a cup right there. And I'm not down for that.
Yeah. Now, I think the demo would be cool to have a drink with and talk. I think
or 12.
Or 12. I think the engineer would also give some good conversation.
Yeah, he'd be kind of nice.
Under the purview of philosophy.
Yeah. I think the soldier's a little too uppity, a little too crazy for me, I think. Especially on a plane. He'd probably just freak out.
Oh my God. Do you think they'd even let him on a plane?
I don't think so.
Brent is in the chat room, and he says he'd want to sit next to the medic, and he better have an Uber ready when the plane crashes.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. The next question. Which class update are you looking forward to the most, including the flood of said updated class? I assume he means the flood of people playing the class.
I'm looking forward to the engineer update. I really want to see the engineer being made more viable.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the spy update because I just can't wait for there to be thousands of spies on every server. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no.
I'll be playing Pyro.
I'll be playing Warhammer Age of Reckoning.
Take that, TFT.
Eric, you got one?
The NG really is what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I think the NG is going to be the best update.
Since day one, it's just always, well, it's not my NPC anymore, but it's my second NPC.
Your
that would
SMPC?
Yeah, my NPC already got taken care of, the Pyro, and the NG's next. And I really just kind of juggle between those two classes, so that'd make me happy.
Cool. And the last question here is, what do you think about the new arena mode? I think we've already covered that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, he did have a postscript here. P.S. There is a way to have everyone on a server use a skin for something. He played on a server where the payload cart was replaced by a huge bug-like creature. He assumed it was a Zerg from StarCraft.
I have a feeling that that's a map that got edited, though.
Yeah, probably.
So yes, we could make well where all the cap points have our little control point doogie hitchies on top of them, but we'd have to have an entire new copy of the map for people to download.
Right.
Yeah, and similarly, you could have a map where all of the scout bats were replaced with big black dildos, but that would be an actual mod that everyone would have to download and run that instead.
Yes.
So, moving right along.
Moving on.
Reconnaissance. There's a video here, and I don't know anything about it. And I don't know why it's under reconnaissance.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's a Lagspike film.
Ooh, and I like Lagspike films. You know what? We could probably just blame this on Brent since he's not here.
Yeah, I think it was Brent's fault.
Brent's looking confused in the Ustream chat.
None of us know where this video came from, but I'm watching it right now.
Is it a TF2 video?
Yeah, it's a TF2 video.
Well, we'll have to check that out, and everyone else should too, and maybe we'll comment on it next week.
It's called The Dark
We'll just put a random link to it in the show notes, and
I don't think
we can talk about it later.
That's not the first time we've ever done that.
No,
put a link and without checking it out.
Let's move on to listener contributions. We've got our thread of the week, and this one is by Terin, and it's "What sprays have you collected?" And basically, this is a place for people to put not just any sprays, but like their favorites that they've gotten. And there are some terribly funny ones in here already.
Yeah, this is cool. It's just like sifting through your directory, finding out what you've, like after years of playing, a year of playing or almost, what have you accumulated? Like, you got this messy closet you haven't looked into and for 8 months, and just open it up and let all these things just hit you in the face. There's some crazy stuff people have posted already. I have yet to actually look in mine yet. But there are some cool ones I would actually like to equip and use from now on.
You know what? I still have not even re-enabled sprays since the last time I reformatted. I don't even have a spray right now. Wow, I know he's talking about sprays that other people have that are in your directory. I just haven't looked at those either. So.
Yeah.
So, the next is a video. It's How to Headshot Wilson by Dontrush. And
this video is totally awesome. I think it should get an Oscar nod, personally.
So if you want to learn how to headshot me, it's and this actually requires a little bit of information. You might have to do some detective work to find out, how I'm in the video. But next we have another video, Girlfriend TF2. If you remember that video from a long time ago, a Australian gamer guy got his girlfriend to play TF2 and recorded her while playing it, and it was absolutely hysterical.
Girlfriend.
And I still would love to have them on the show. They've also done Girlfriend BioShock, Girlfriend AOC.
And that's funny.
And it's really funny too. And now we have Girlfriend TF2, the heavy update. So
have you started recording Sabrina while she learns to play?
Well, I thought about it, and I thought, well, that's kind of his gig. I don't want to steal it away from him, but it was like, but it's exactly like that. There's all these games that she's going to start playing now. She's going to start getting into WoW. She's playing TF2 now and all this, and I just thought, well, why have two girlfriend type videos on the internet, on the Weber Nest? So
yeah, Lord knows there's not room for more than one of anything on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's actually absolutely some brilliant stuff in here. It's not as like astoundingly clever as the last one, but there's some moments in here where you're like, oh my god, and I really appreciate it.
Sweet.
There's a new skin. It's Meet the Control Point Sandvich skin. This is by SuperChickenHunter. Basically, it's a new sandwich skin.
Oh yeah, like all the other Control Point crazy skins and stuff. You can put a CP logo right on that bread and eat it up.
Yep.
It's delicious.
I would not eat that sandwich.
Nom, 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 nom.
Personally.
Yeah, you may get ink poisoning or something, but that's okay.
Avatar called in. He was on the tail end of episode 44, and he mentioned the map Canal Zone. It's a domination type map, and he says that we should discuss it. And everyone who actually listened to the podcast probably heard it. We're going to look into it. Now, isn't Canal Zone the one that they were having the award for designing the level?
The bounty?
The bounty?
I believe so. And was it Fish Bus? I don't know. Was it the guy who did Mach 4? Oh yeah, I think it was that guy who ended up doing the map.
Yeah.
Which his name Vile Pickle.
Okay.
I think. Anyway, yeah, we just haven't played it yet. It looks good. I've seen screenshots, but that's about it.
Yeah, I want to try out some new map types. Actually, I haven't really poked around with a lot. Yeah. We also got Mectroid called in for episode 44 and asked a few questions because of the terrible quality of the Skype call, we couldn't make it out. So if you could record us an MP3 and email us, we'd appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Ubertoast commented that the M key is a fast way to bring up your loadout screen for your characters and your weapons.
But of course, you'll still have to respawn after changing your weapon loadout to get the new weapon. It's not like you can just change in the middle, go from the Sasha to Natasha.
And you still have to pick your class, too. And it just seems like there should be a little bit of a faster way to do that selection. And lastly, on our forums, and we'll provide a link to it, we've got some TF2 Olympics that are going to be getting started. Maija Win decided to host some... decided to put this forward because of what's been going on over in Beijing, and those Olympic thingies.
Wait, what's been going on in Beijing?
Beijing Lung and the Olympics.
Oh, what are those?
You'll find out later.
Okay.
Anyway, so he's gonna be organizing some stuff, about that. So pay attention to our forums and that's well worth checking out.
Yeah, yes.
Do you want to read that one?
Another call that we got that, another tail end type call from episode 44. We got from Low Freeze from Uber Control, Uber servers, ubercharge.net. my brain just froze. And she explains to us that we pronounce the word kukri wrong. Every freaking time we say the word, it is wrong. Apparently, it has 3 syllables, and it is not from Australia. It is from Nepal, and it is kukri.
Kukuri, yes.
Is that right?
I actually knew this. But it is commonly spelled with 2 syllables in English, and it is Nepalese. But you know what?
Kukri.
It's an Australian dude carrying it. I'm going to keep calling it a kukri because that's what I like saying. Kukri.
And I don't think any of this ever implied that the weapon itself was Australian. I know I didn't. I actually knew it originally started in Nepal.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not know that there were 3 syllables to it.
Yeah. Kukri. Kukri monster.
Kukri.
Major win. Okay.
So moving on, we've got a Fritz question of the week.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Okay, and here it is, right here.
Hey, it's Ifrit for his question of the week. This week's question is, out of the 9 classes, which one do you think will be most likely to have a spin-off game with him as the main character? So, yeah, see ya.
Okay, a spin-off. I can kind of already see a spy spin-off because he's very character-rich. He's really likable character, and he's a very hated character. I think he kind of hits on all different emotions. I just think he would be like a really cool main character.
I think something like a Solid Snake game, where it was a single player, play through the level, stab the guy, Thief or Solid Snake, something like that.
Yeah.
That could work.
Okay, I'm a little unsure here because when I first heard spin-off, I wasn't sure if he was talking like a television spin-off, like a TV show about one of them. But if you're talking about video games, I don't know, man. Let's see.
The heavy is unique enough, I think. You know, it's like characters like, say, the soldier. Now, the soldier is a great, lovable character. He's awesome, but he's very stereotypical, crazy soldier guy. Like, I don't think that would be a good main character, you know?
I think you could do an interesting puzzle game with the NG.
Yeah,
I could see that. I could see that. I think that a platformer with the scout might be kind of fun, too.
See, I would think
something very Sonic-y.
Yeah, the pyro is another really, I think
you could do a game with any of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're right. The soldier game would be boring. Moving on, we have some surveillance, and mostly I just wanted to comment on this. Ubercharge.net has had a crazy amount of traffic lately, and if you are not logging onto that site and checking it out, you are missing some comedy gold.
This is true.
I haven't been checking them at all.
There is some really funny stuff going on over there, and they have a lot of people writing for them.
Mm-hmm. I don't like humor. I don't like things that are funny.
Yeah.
I don't care for it.
Humor is for suckers.
I figured that out about you. So lastly, we've got some shout-outs. The Player of the Week.
Douglas. And he broke Tay's record. He listened to all of our show in 7 days. Now, I should note that I put that on there last week, early in the week, before I learned that someone else, whose name I did not write down, had listened to our entire show within the course of like 4 days or something like that.
Wow.
Which just sounds so horrendously. I don't know why anyone would do that to themselves. I mean, my God.
Well, yeah, you know, the thing is, like, listening to podcasts for a extended period of time is not like, you know, a crazy feat or anything. It's like, you know, if you're at a job and you listen to podcasts while you're working, that's one thing. But listening to the same show over and over, now that I think would, you know, I don't know. Even if I liked the content and the people, it's just like, wow, I just spent 12 hours today with my buddies that I don't even know and listening to their voice. Like, I can hear them in my sleep. And, you know, like, I have to have a break, you know?
I could not conceive of anyone wanting to listen to us for that long. I mean, seriously, I don't want to listen to us that much. I hate us. Oh my God, we suck.
So,
well, anyway, congratulations, Douglas. I think you're magnificent. You're a magnificent person. We'd like to give a shout out for Phaser, who listens to our show as he falls asleep at night.
Wow.
And this song that I'm about to sing is just for Phaser. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Don't dream of me shooting you in the face with a shotgun. Don't dream of that, 'cause it'll be bad. And you won't like that at all.
Wow, that's a masterpiece.
Shh, don't wake him up.
Okay. So, let's all right, let's see. A shout out from Johnny Napalm in an email. It says, quick shout out to Hacienda Squish, Techcore, Yamhead, Mr. Eagle, Jolly, Guy Alex, and the rest of the gang on server number 3 for all the help farming heavy achievements on Wednesday night. I was simply astonished at how quickly it went. I hit all 3 milestones in what seemed to be less than 10 minutes.
As did I on Tuesday. It was amazing.
It's crazy.
I need to do that.
I got 10 minutes to spare tonight. I want to get milestone 3.
So, we're done.
That's it. We're done.
That's the show. That's the Where's Brent Copeland show.
Yeah, episode 45.
I can't believe he missed this.
Where in the world is Brent Copeland?
But he is in the chat room right now, and he can hear us talking about him.
And I don't want. Do you want to do the things this week, or should we just skip them?
Let's see.
We gotta do them.
I wanted to say quickly about the wiki page. We do have a control point wiki page that you can update. Now, I checked out this the other day, and this thing keeps growing, and it looks great. It now has this huge episode guide grid that shows who the player of the week is, how long the episode is, what the title is. It's just a huge grid. It looks like a TV guide or something. It's awesome. So cool. Whoever is responsible of doing that, you're doing an awesome job. Also, there's new sections popping up all the time in there. Just glossing it over was really cool. I finally made my first modification. It was just, I think it was a spelling error, or it was just a tiny little thing.
Good thing you're there to put in content.
Yeah, so I just kind of tidied it up.
I corrected the capitalization of devil turnip. The T is not capitalized, just so you guys know.
Good job. So that's great. Keep that up. If there's something, an inside joke that you want to add, I don't know, anything. It's all being documented there. And the TF2 wiki site is excellent. Resource for everything. In fact, they're pretty quick. People are quick to update the new heavy stuff, all the arena stuff. All of the new stuff that came in this heavy update is now on the TF2 wiki, or at least it was last time I checked. So that's cool. Also,
beyond that,
we have a DIGG page. You can dig us. You can join the MindSpace group. You can give us iTunes reviews. That helps us join the upward ranks of the podcast. Gaming podcast sections. Stumble upon us. Join the Steam community, which was 1,700 plus last time I checked. It's
almost 1,800, actually.
Yeah.
It's getting real close.
Wow. Our forums, the Control Point forums, excellent place to go for awesome little tidbits, sometimes audio behind the scenes, sometimes just pure wackiness that you won't get on the show. So that's kind of your bonus content.
Or just hanging out with the awesome Control Point people.
Yeah, that's
not
where,
us, the other people.
That's where we get schooled by listeners, and then we put that information in the show in audio form.
Yeah.
Listen to TF2 tunes and parodies that we've made over the course of a couple months. Mint Condition has made some really good ones in there. That is controlpoint.muxtape.com.
Now, Muxtape got shut down.
It did.
Yes, it did. I do not know if it is back up yet or not, but the RIA got on to them about not checking what materials were being provided. So Muxtape voluntarily shut itself down. I do not know if it is currently around or not.
Wow.
I just checked, and it says Muxtape will be unavailable for a brief period while we sort out the problem with the RIA. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's not up right now. Sorry.
Well, I guess I'll make a special page for everyone to hear all these songs outside of Muxtape. You can look for our good buddy and overlord here, Windsor Coperton. He's on Facebook.
He's such a swell guy.
Last week he was a baby, but he's been growing up so fast. He's got his first gray hair yesterday. So let's see. Twitter. You can Twitter all of the hosts: Nailhead, Devil Turnip, Chaos_CP, and WesWilson. And give us a call on our Skype voicemail. No one actually picks this thing up, so you just go straight to voicemail. 256-513-4772. Send in MP3s. We would rather you send an MP3 than Skype, just because it sounds better. Send your MP3 questions, tunes, whatever you have to cp@deadworkers.com.
Okay. Well,
that's everything.
I have to say, real quick, Eric, this is why we don't let you do the outro, because holy crap, that was the longest outro ever.
That was really long.
Okay.
Hey, you know I was supposed to be out of here 45 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, let Wes do it again. He was really quick with his.
I would just like to conclude this episode by saying, nom 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 nom.
You are now at the end of another episode of Control Point.
Victory.
Every one of you deserves a medal!
A podcast brought to you by the Dead Workers Party. See the show notes and leave comments for this episode at controlpoint.deadworkers.com or leave us a voicemail at area code 256-513-4772.
Auf Wiedersehen!
Hey, Control Point, this is I Drink Your Milkshake, and I'm thinking about making this suggestion to Valve. Maybe for the weapons in your inventory, I think you should be able to choose which weapons go in which spot. Like maybe for the heavy with the new achievement, you could put Natasha in one slot, put Sasha in the other spot, and maybe put the Killing Gloves of Boxing in the last spot. So you could just switch around upgraded weapons and old weapons. Just put them in the same place. So I just thought that would be kind of cool. Okay, I love the podcast. Bye.
So did your son get his foot
On
bitten
the blue
off
one.
by-
There we go.
Oh, survivor.
Can I see that? Can I please see that?
Is she hitting mutes and stuff? That's awesome.
She's sapping my mic.
She's adorable. She is sapping your mic.
Mm-hmm, totally.
You want to wave bye? Wave bye. You want to say bye to him? Can you say control point? Yeah. That's close enough.